Hello everybody and welcome here to Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park for the 9th matchup between these two Mountain Division rivals. It's El Paso Locomotive FC taking on New Mexico United. Pre-game coming up. The 2021 New Mexico United season is presented by Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary. My name's Tyler Ortega, joined tonight by Chris Hurst for this big-time matchup. Chris, it's El Paso coming in atop the mountain on goal differential, 24 points. New Mexico United sitting behind them in third at 20 points. El Paso, however, have a few games in hand on the black and yellow.
Yeah, it's a bit of a messed up conference right now, with so many teams playing so many different games, but really tight. Every game means so much. Every 3 points means so much.
And for El Paso, they are anchored in the midfield here as we take a look at tonight's players to watch, brought to you by Lumen Optimal Wellness. Enjoy a healthier body and mind today by the 36-year-old. It's Richie Ryan coming to us out of Templetoy, Ireland. Last played in the USL with FC Cincinnati. He's a veteran, Chris, as you can see, hovering around 90% pass accuracy, also doing the work defensively with those 17 interceptions.
Yeah, El Paso Locomotive, every game they play, they try and dictate the ball, trying to, they dominate possession, and he's a big part of that.
This midfield battle is going to be a lot of fun here tonight as we look at the other side for New Mexico United. It is the 32-year-old Juan Pablo Guzman. He's making his 57th appearance for the black and yellow here this evening. As you can see, 8 key passes, 2 assists on the evening. You're a big JPG fan.
Yeah, I mean, he's the most laid-back player ever. You know, you can have 3 defenders around him, and he'll still be so calm in possession. He makes things tick for New Mexico United in the middle of the park.
This is the first time that El Paso has visited the lab since 2019, Chris. It's been 725 days since we've seen these two sides take the stage here. So we're going to step aside. We'll have lineups and kickoff coming up.
B-Dub's new crispy hand-breaded classic chicken sandwich plus fries for $5.99 is made live in a real-life sports bar with live, non-virtual friends. This is real life. So real it's $5.99 for a limited time. Buffalo Wild Wings.
In the 2019 Reader's Choice Awards from the Albuquerque Journal, Sandia Resort and Casino was voted Albuquerque's favorite casino. Best customer service, best entertainment venue, best slot machines and poker room, best variety of table games, best rewards program, and best golf course. Best buffet, favorite nightclub, favorite casino. Albuquerque, you deserve the best. Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary.
In New Mexico, we know true beauty, true adventure, true color, and true culture. Home to the artists, the warriors, and the multi-generational, multiracial, all-inclusive family that we call the United. This is New Mexico United, and New Mexico United is New Mexico true.
If sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
It's getting late, but your crew is just getting started. Head to B-Dubs for 50% off this loaded lineup of tots, chips, and ultimate nachos. But wait, house beer for just $3? There's officially something for everyone, even that friend whose curfew is 10 p.m. Late night at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Tonight's match is presented by NM811, reminding you to call before you dig here, Chris. And let's have a look now at tonight's starting lineups presented by Michelob Ultra. Starting here first with the home side, we see Ilya Ilic spearheading the attack. He's got Chelo Martinez, Sergio Rivas on each side of him. As we mentioned, Guzman in the midfield alongside Tenari. And then, of course, you have Kalen Ryden and Alex Tambakis there at the back for New Mexico United.
Yeah, listed as 3-4-3. Wouldn't be surprised if you see Suggs and Bruce either starting on the opposite side there or switching during the game and becoming inverted.
And now here on the other side for El Paso, we see their original regular number 1 back between the sticks. It's Logan Ketterer taking his place back in goal following Ben Beery's previous start. Big shout out to Ben Beery, former New Mexico United player. As we see Richie Ryan, Chaparrera in the midfield. Yuma is starting. And of course, we were wondering about this a little bit after leaving with a knock. It's Sebastian Velasquez up top.
Yeah, he came off after 30 minutes. Aaron Gomez came on, actually scored the winner, obviously, against Las Vegas Light, so more than capable deputy when he came on. But yeah, so it looks like he's managed to shake that off because he was in quite a bit of discomfort. It looked like maybe it was either his hip or his rib. Couldn't really tell, but it's good to see that he's back.
And the 9th meeting all-time between these two sides is officially underway here in Albuquerque. It's New Mexico United hosting El Paso Locomotive. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on the call this evening. Is starting early here, Chelo Martinez goes to ground and looks to be shaken up just a little bit there. So we have a look at this TLC replay. So tonight's replay is brought to you by TLC Plumbing. TLC is the leader in New Mexico when it comes to home and business service needs.
Zacharias had absolutely no interest in letting Chelo get to that ball there. Made sure it was going out for a throw-in, and if it wasn't so early in the game, maybe that might have been an early free kick for New Mexico United.
And just less than a minute in here, that was our first piece of action. As now the long ball played up over the top, and Tambakis has to come out and play sweeper keeper. And Ilya Ilic will be whistled for the foul there as Yuma goes to ground. And as we mentioned previously, Yuma not necessarily one of the favorites here to the black and yellow faithful, Chris.
No idea why, right? I mean, it's early in the game. I mean, Ilic did have a little shove in his back there. I'd take a guess he's maybe making the most of this right now, playing up to the crowd a little bit. He's here and there. He's not going to mind this at all, the attention being on him. So I'm sure he's playing up a little bit.
So we have another look here at this TLC replay. You see Ilic just kind of runs by and Yuma goes down to ground. Ketterer will get us restarted here. Playing one long, and that's met by the head of Rashid Tete. Yuma back at a full sprint. He looks to be all right as Ketterer comes out to scoop that one up. Borelli plays that one up ahead, looking for Luna. Diego Luna, the 17-year-old for Locomotive. He has been impressive in what we've seen so far.
He's really hard to pick up. Looks like El Paso Locomotive set up 4-4-2 diamond, their midfield and a diamond. Luna at the top of that diamond as well, which means he's got pretty much license and freedom to go wherever he wants to. Solny out at the top, he's the target man. Velasquez just off him. They can play a bunch of different ways, El Paso Locomotive. They can play direct, which we saw earlier. Nelly caught New Mexico United out, or they can play through the middle through Luna, who's very tricky on the ball, very hard to dispossess.
And that's Chaparrera there winning the foul. Daniel Bruce rather upset with the official here early on. Just 3 minutes in here, Chris, and it's about what we'd expect to see between United and Locomotive.
Pick a word that you want to describe. Chippy? A little chippy early on, right?
And here we have another look at this TLC replay, and you can see Daniel Bruce clearly going through the back legs there of Chaparrera.
Every soccer player is always innocent whenever anything like that happens, though, right?
So the last time that Locomotive visited the lab, that was July 31st of 2019. Just a week shy of it being 2 years to the date, actually. So you see this ball delivered in, and it's met by Daniel Bruce towards the top of the 18. And as I was saying, the last time El Paso Locomotive were here, it was a 3-0 win for New Mexico United. Kevon Frater scoring early, Chris Wehan hitting a brace in the 71st and 75th minutes, sealing the 3-0 victory in front of 13,521 fans. I don't think we'll quite hit the 13,000 here tonight, Chris, but we should be expecting a good crowd of around 10,000.
It's a beautiful night for soccer. That's for sure. The Storms, knock on wood, have stayed away and continue to stay away. So as long as that continues, it is a beautiful night for it. That is
Ricardo Zacarias winning the foul there as we have a look at tonight's keys to the match presented by Garcia Automotive Group. As we pause briefly, as it looked like Rivas might have been through on goal here, but win the midfield battles, stay compact defensively, Chris. I know that's something that you had wanted to talk about.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier, you know, El Paso can play a lot of different ways, and they nearly caught New Mexico out early with that. A few times against Las Vegas Lights, it was the right back Zacarias playing a big diagonal, trying to find Borelli on the other side, and eventually that came to the assist for the winning goal. And Borelli's one of the leading chance makers from left back.
Yeah, speaking of, he notched that assist on the game winner against Las Vegas Lights. He wears number 5 for Locomotive. This ball is thrown into Rashid Tete, who's making his 6th start, 6th appearance of the season here for the Black and Yellow. He's got 10 tackles in his 5 appearances so far. Illich turns. He looked like he might have had Bruce in some space, but the swarming defense there in the midfield of Locomotive did not allow him to make the pass. Here's Illich turns, has opportunity to cross, and Rivas tried to chest that one in. He's marked by Yuma, trying to get away is Sergio Rivas. Guzman tells him just calm down a little bit. Back to Rivas, tons of space. Plays the cross in, Illich touches and just gets away from it. End-to-end stuff here so far, Hursty.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the best period for New Mexico United. Suddenly gaining a little bit of possession, getting a foothold in the game, because it's been hard for them to kind of string 2-3 passes together. Started with Sergio Rivas, looked very comfortable on the ball early on here.
You know, and if you're on the sideline, Chris, in the technical area, what are your words to your squad coming into this match, knowing what you know about the opposition?
I mean, obviously they're sitting at the top for a reason, right? El Paso are a very, very good team.
Daniel Bruce just unable to catch up to that.
But for a team like New Mexico United, they need to worry about themselves. It's not necessarily about who they're playing. Like, yes, there's certain things you scout, you do scout reports, all that kind of stuff. But there's a bit of professional pride, and the defense is hurting. Losing 3-0 midweek, they did not like that. And you could hear it in the press conference, Keelan Ryden, saying there was a lot of self-reflection. I imagine that they're going to be doing a lot of work today just to try and limit the amount of chances that El Paso get.
And you made mention of that 3-0 shellacking that New Mexico United took on Wednesday night at the hands of San Antonio on ESPN2 for that matter. It was a little bit of a bright spot in that match as 17-year-old Christian Nava made an appearance around the 85th minute. You'd like to see that for the youngster. Getting some exposure on national TV, the product of Albuquerque High School and also Rio Rapids Soccer Club.
And Guadalajara. It was great seeing before the game. There's some Guadalajara kids were here, special guests in New Mexico United, and you got to take a photo with them all in their jerseys with Eduardo, who runs the club as well. So congratulations to them.
Suggs crosses that one in, and it's cleared out by Mishak Jerome. New Mexico United threatening early. So we have a look here at Troy Lesane in his 3rd year here at the helm. He's split the points evenly with El Paso here through the first 3 seasons, each team with 2 wins, 2 losses, and 4 draws against the opposition. This is our first Bank of America corner kick this evening. With over 4,600 locations, convenient banking is just around the corner. United, as we've seen recently, have really been doing their homework on set pieces. assistant coach Zach Prince has really been the maestro behind them, and the guys on the field scoring from set pieces in consecutive games before being shut out by San Antonio. Suggs plays that one over to Rivas, or excuse me, Martinez, and Ketterer has to come out to punch it away.
Yeah, they were definitely, it looked like they were trying to spring Kalen Ryden at the back post, but El Paso Locomotive looked like they did their homework and managed to avoid any disasters there.
Going back the other way, here's Velasquez. Plays it across, Diego Luna now. Spreads it for Zacarias. And we've got a stoppage in play, and on the back side of things, it looks like Eder Borelli.
He took one straight to the face. He did. That was the reaction. I don't know if you heard that from the crowd. That was the reaction. He blocked Daniel Bruce's cross with his face, which I'm sure he didn't mean to. And he kind of tried to jog it off and then maybe realized that it was it took a little bit out of him.
Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. So we've got the trainer out on the field looking at Eder Borelli. He looks to be good to go here as we have a look now at the Ben Sherman Law injury report. It's for New Mexico United, Sam Hamilton and Harry Swartz. Hamilton obviously out indefinitely with the fibular fracture. Harry Swartz, however, we spoke with him just yesterday at the press conference, said he's hoping to be back in the squad in just a couple of weeks. And, you know, as great as Daniel Bruce has been, Chris, I think it's fair to say that Harry Swartz is missed on the pitch.
He was the leading assist guy before the injury, you know, and like I say, everyone loves Bruce. Like, what he brings, the energy he brings, but bringing that energy game after game after game, it takes it out of you, it really does. So having that third person to rotate in there, which Coach Hussein was using really, really well, is rotating those three guys, including Suggs and that too, and not having that guy to rotate in there, it's taken a little edge off.
Yeah, lower body injury for Harry Swartz. But again, as we said, he was very optimistic in speaking with him yesterday that he should be good to go here in just the next couple of weeks, which I'm sure is music to the ears of the black and yellow faithful. Here's Mishak Jerome. Looking for Solinak on the long ball over the top, and that's headed back to Tambakis by Rashid Tete.
And there was a little moment there where everyone thought that maybe New Mexico United had their line just a little too high there. You can see El Paso Locomotive, while they love to possess the ball, they're not afraid to go from back to front quickly if they think it's on. If they've got the matchup that they want, which it looks like Solinak against Tete, if they get that matchup, they're looking to play it early.
Well, and as we've seen as of late, Chris, a lot of teams are starting to utilize the speed of their front three to combat this New Mexico United back three. And we've seen some of the issues that it's presented, especially with that match on Wednesday night.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean, it just shows in that goal where Gallegos just went past Justin Smith far too easily, unfortunately, for New Mexico United. And yeah, it's something, maybe that is a little chink in the armor.
So we've got a Bank of America corner kick here. We just had a look at head coach and technical director for Locomotive. That's Mark Lowry from Birmingham, England. This ball is played short here. Back to Ryan. He plays it down. That's Ross. Cross goes into the box, headed away by Kalen Ryden. Falls to Yuma. Back to Chapa Herrera, and Guzman is going to be called for the foul here.
Guzman he made his decision very early that he was going to go into that tackle there, and Chapa Herrera saw him coming, just moved the ball slightly and you know, drew the foul there. A little too anxious to win the ball there. I'm not sure he really needed to do that. If he just stayed on his feet, could have probably forced the ball backwards.
That sees us with our first Fiesta Auto Group free kick of the evening here in the 14th minute. This is going to be Nick Ross playing it short. Velasquez lets it run, gets it back, but it's blasted up and over the wall by Ilya Illich, just dealing with the danger momentarily. Leads to another Bank of America corner kick. There's the curse. They're here in full voice tonight. The curse and all of their other supporters groups. Ross thought about it, and now he'll deliver. Near post. Falls back, Zacharias. Yuma tries to get cheeky with it, and it's headed away. Played back in for Ross now. Guzman to Mark. Here's Luna. Cutting that one out is Juan Pablo Guzman, but he gives it away once again. Ross gets it back now, plays it into the 18, off the feet of Diego Luna. New Mexico United cleared out once again. A lot of pressure coming early on from Locomotive.
Yeah, you can see just the movement off the ball causing all kinds of issues from New Mexico United. The El Paso Locomotive do a real good job moving the ball, moving themselves, moving into fresh spaces, and it's just, defenders, you have to be so switched on, not just watching the ball, but tracking runs as well. And El Paso Locomotive are buzzing around right now.
This is Ricardo Zacarias, the Las Cruces, New Mexico native, suiting up for Locomotive. This ball's going to find its way all the way back to Mishak Jerome. El Paso always content to sit in possession, Chris, and that's something that Troy Lesesne knew coming into this game.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows, yeah, that's part and parcel of playing against El Paso. That's the thing is, you know, Mark Lowry's done such a good job where the team can play so many different ways, but they are very comfortable in possession. They're comfortable playing on the counter-attack. The goal against Las Vegas Lights came probably during Las Vegas's best part of the game, or most pressure in the game. Ben Buri just pulled off a wonderful save 2 minutes before the goal. And so kind of hitting them on the counter-attack. So there's so many different ways that they can play. You've got to worry about so many different weapons.
Ryder now plays it over to Austin Yearwood. Long ball played forward. Curling the run is Sergio Rivas, and Jerome able to just get his foot in there. Otherwise, it looks like Rivas might have had a chance at Ketterer.
I love that from New Mexico United, just a little different, you know, instead of playing the short passes all the time, you dink a ball over the top every now and again, it just gets the back line off you, creates a little more space in the midfield to potentially connect some passes later on.
Guzman here plays it up to Illich. Chelo Martinez, overlapping run from Daniel Bruce. Martinez opts to keep it, loses his footing. Now things getting a little chaotic inside the box. And the foul is going to be called against Daniel Bruce once again. And is another free kick here for Locomotive.
It's interesting to see the front three, Chelo, Sergio Rivas and Illich, actually look like they're combining really well on the same wavelength. They're creating some chances, ball into Illich's feet, and he's dropping it back to those guys. They're playing just a little deeper than him. He's the head of the spear, basically.
There you saw our official Greg Dopka tonight. Our man in the middle. Borelli. Back to Yuma. See Zacarias making the long run there, trying to get around the other Las Cruces native that's on the pitch, Josh Suggs. You know, and what a tale between those two, Chris. On one side, you've got Josh Suggs, who's the USL's all-time leader in minutes played, and then on the other side, you've got Ricardo Zacarias, who made his way into the squad from the practice squad.
Yeah, and that's you know, there's a bunch of stories like that within this league, you know, and it was just funny watching those two, like the experience of Josh Suggs there, just stepping across his line. But Zacarias, yeah, you've got to say, like, credit to him, he's listed as a forward, and you know he's playing it right back, and how he just there's a lot of different players on this El Paso team and the New Mexico United team who can play in a bunch of different, you know, comfortably in different positions.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun battle to watch this evening as Guzman gets things started here off the restart. Borelli turning with that one and going down immediately was Chapa Herrera.
Daniel Bruce is going to have to be careful here. That's his third or fourth already early on in the game. See the referee's having a little word with him.
No, ladies and gentlemen, they're not cheering for the foul that was just called on Daniel Bruce. It's time for the magic minute here at the lab. You can see, as we mentioned, the curse here in full support. Kalen Ryden sends that one away. Again, if you're just tuning in, or if you're wondering what's going on, if you're an El Paso fan, this is the magic minute. So they do this every match here at the lab. The crowd starts cheering at the 19-minute, 12-second mark, and that is to signify when New Mexico was recognized as a state here in the United States. And then they'll stop at the 20-minute, 18-second mark, and that signifies when New Mexico United was announced as a club. You know, and asking the players about this, Chris, is we're going to have a drop ball here. Greg Dopka got in the way. But you ask the players about this magic minute, and they say when you hit, you feel that energy. You know, it really fires you up. And then from a defensive, or from an oppositional standpoint, Kalen Ryden was able to speak about this, having played with Real Monarchs in Season 1. You have no idea what's going on. And all of a sudden, it's like no matter how good you were playing, now New Mexico United just have all this momentum.
Well, now's a good time to test out that theory, right? Because it's been a fairly comfortable start for El Paso Locomotive. And New Mexico United have only had maybe one or two, you know, shots across the bow, as you say, but it's, you know, I'd say El Paso will be happier with the start of the game for sure.
That is another foul called against New Mexico United. That one called on Sergio Rivas. He is not happy about that one at all. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ plus community. Through the Forever Proud project, the USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, staff, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forever-proud. Velasquez made his return back to Locomotive just about a month ago.
See how interchangeable the El Paso Locomotive midfield is. That's Velasquez dropping deep, and Ross pushes on, and it's all those guys are so comfortable all over the place. Solignac is really the only one who's staying high, and he has +1 up top with him, depending on which midfielder he decides to break from deep.
So defensively, if you're New Mexico United, how do you counter that? How do you deal with that?
You just got to make sure your lines are connected. So that space between Juan Pablo Guzman, Tenari, and the back three, that's the space where Luna's standing right now. If that ball drops to him, he's got the ball facing the back three, and that's trouble for New Mexico United.
Suggs looking to play that one forward for Illich, and whipping on that is Yuma. Here's Ilya Illich, and skies it onto the concourse. Missing a golden opportunity is the Serbian.
You just see the ball just would not sit down for him. He was desperate for the ball to just sit down. It was on that little sod area then. It just kept bouncing. He did well to kind of just run through. It wasn't pretty, just ran through Yuma. And I said the ball just bounced probably a little higher than what he expected right before he hit it there. Ball just sits up there and then just gets under it.
And for Illich, this is his 11th appearance on the season, his 4th start for New Mexico United. He scored his first goal here, and it was actually on that goal he was shooting on just 3 weeks ago against Colorado Springs. It was a 94th minute to seal the 3-1 victory over Switchbacks. You know he's going to be looking to find the back of the net here tonight.
any of the forwards for New Mexico United, you say someone needs to stake their claim. Who's going to be the one that's moving forward more times than most? Right? It's rotated, and there's always going to be some level of rotation because of how thick and fast the games come. But none of the forwards have really said, I'm the one so far this season.
Luna now plays across the box, and Daniel Bruce is there to meet that and send it long to Yuma. Meshach Jerome. You know, Chris, and you were mentioning for New Mexico United, just waiting for one of those forwards to step up. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention the absence of their number 10, Armando Moreno, who is at the Gold Cup on national team duty with El Salvador. And we are just receiving word now that El Salvador have lost in the Gold Cup 3-2 full time as they lose to Qatar. As things still getting a little chippy. Daniel Bruce stepping in to shield Chelo Martinez as Yuma is once again the victim.
He's just using all his experience there, just in front of the ball, and it's a bit of a silly, don't give him an excuse to really fall down. It's a silly foul to give away. He's going nowhere, and you can see he's nodding and cheering and kind of egging the fans on. He's loving his moment in the sun here right now.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah,
he knows exactly what he's doing, especially.
But it's experience. It's experience, right? It's he's playing the game.
And you know, guys like that, Chris, they love to have those sorts of interactions. They feed off that stuff. So, you know, as we mentioned earlier, Yuma, definitely one of the fan favorites here for the New Mexico United faithful, as that is a hard sliding challenge from Juan Pablo Guzman, and he's going to see yellow here in the 26th minute. And down looks to be Velasquez. Have another look here at this one. Guzman slides in. He looks to get the ankle caught in between his legs as he slides through.
Straight through the back of him. There's no doubt that that's a yellow card. That is a tackle born of frustration. And this is the script that we've seen a few times, though, at home, where, you know, Loudoun United, I wasn't here for this game, but I heard, you know, the game very early on became about the extracurriculars, the referee and things like that. And Mexico United need to be careful that it doesn't turn into another game like that.
So this is a Fiesta Auto Group free kick coming up here. Yuma just directing some traffic here. It looks like Meshach Jerome will be the one to send it in. So that was the 29th yellow card of the season for New Mexico United. Picked up 2 reds so far as well. Tenari and Yearwood early on this season.
Yearwood one was rescinded though, right?
Correct. So here's Jerome blasting that one straight into the black and yellow wall, and Austin Yearwood blasting that one into the crowd. Looking to start the second half of the season on a high note, Oakland Roots SC welcomes high-powered Phoenix Rising when the USL on ESPN continues. Don't miss any of the action from the Golden State, Wednesday, August 4th at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. There's Diego Luna. Pass that one back to Velasquez, who looks to be okay after that challenge from Guzman.
It's interesting, immediately following the game on Wednesday, there was some quotes that came out from Coach Troy Lassine saying about being more aggressive. He felt that there were maybe too much of a pushover against San Antonio, and we've certainly seen a reaction to those comments in the opening, 30 minutes here.
Suggs gets around Zacarias. Far side, it's Daniel Bruce. Chelo Martinez looked to have gotten fouled, no call. Ball still bouncing around atop the 18. Here's Guzman looking to just settle things down here just a little bit, Chris, as we now are in the 30th minute. New Mexico United, El Paso Locomotive 0-0 here on ESPN Plus, Estrella TV. My name's Tyler Ortega, joined by Chris Hurst. There goes the Englishman Daniel Bruce. And just a miscommunication there with Chelo Martinez, but Bruce able to win it back. And Yuma will clear the danger. Long diagonal ball looking for Josh Suggs. Headed away by Mishak Jerome. Here's Velasquez. Velasquez gets it right back. Here's Chapa Herrera. Spreads it out to Borelli. Chris, and we've mentioned the curse a few times, the supporters group for New Mexico United. We also want to throw a shout out to some of the traveling El Paso fans that have made the trip up I-25 here to the lab to take on the near 10,000 New Mexico United fans. So again, big salute to the traveling contingency, the El Paso Locomotive, whether that's the 8th Notch or whatever other supporters groups are out there. I'll show you guys some love here today as we have a look at that foul in this TLC replay. Here's Nick Ross again. Ross crosses this one into the box, and the foul is going to be called there. Looked like, I believe it was Solinak that went through the back of Austin Yearwood.
Actually got him offside as well. I think there was definitely a push, but the offside happened first, so that's where they're going to take that from. But some dangerous areas, they haven't quite got it right. They did, El Paso did that one where the little short sharp where Illich just booted it up against the scoreboard because it was complete panic stations for New Mexico United. But New Mexico United be a little worried. They've given away some free kicks in some very dangerous areas.
This one falls and it's headed over to Daniel Bruce. Bruce decided to have a go and it was blocked.
That was traveling.
Luna lays that one off for Chapa Herrera. Spreads it out to Zacarias now. Here's Yuma. Back to Logan Ketterer. And Ketterer, Chris, he's had, I think it's safe to say, a whirlwind of a season. You know, he started off with Locomotive. He was loaned out on a short-term loan up to Portland Timbers of the MLS, where we've got a long ball played forward. Diego Luna, and the flag goes up for offside. He hits the side of the netting anyway. But as I was saying, for Ketterer, gets called up, or loaned out, excuse me, to Portland Timbers, and his first MLS start for Timbers, saves a penalty from Wando and gets a clean sheet. Couldn't write the script any better.
And again, it's you know, the replacement, the backup of Ben Bury, who's got experience as well, a very, very able backup as well. I mean, just look at, you know, last week he gets his first ever professional clean sheet. Played a couple times for New Mexico United as well. Played against Cardiff.
Played against Cardiff, yeah, and that exhibition that they had in the middle of season 1. Also made an appearance here at the lab against Phoenix Rising, where he conceded a late equalizer in a 1-1 draw. And it was on that night, actually, with that draw that Phoenix clinched the Western Conference. Borelli plays A long ball over the top, and it finds the waiting arms of the Athenian Alex Tambakis. It's Martinez looking for Josh Suggs, and nothing doing there. Nick Ross is there to cut that one out, and now Suggs is going to be called for the foul. Tons of fouls here in the opening 35 minutes, Chris.
The ref might want to change his whistle at halftime. I need a new one.
And so far, only one booking. Only one booking. And that was Guzman in the 26th minute for New Mexico United.
And it was deserved, you've got to say as well.
Absolutely.
And to be fair, the referee's done well with that. You know, it's because there could have been another couple of questionable ones that maybe, you know, early on, giving out so many bookings would be trouble for the rest of the game.
Zacarias plays that one in, and it's dealt with. Yearwood now will try to play that one up towards the midfield line, and it's turned back by Locomotive. Comes Velasquez weaving through traffic, and eventually dispossessed by Andrew Tenari. Haven't really said Tenari's name a whole lot tonight. He's looking for the run of Chelo Martinez. Beautifully weighted ball. Martinez has a couple of options in the 18, tries to cut it back, and the handball is going to be called against Martinez.
That's really the only time that New Mexico United have had any joy, right? It's when they can pick off a pass, when El Paso Locomotive have thrown bodies forward and picked them off on the counter-attack. You can see it just pops up really unlucky there, because he had turned them. Zacarias did well to try and stand him up, but he had turned him, just popped the ball up. It did hit his hands, but signs of life from New Mexico United there.
Which we haven't seen a whole lot of here in these first 37 minutes.
I was having a little giggle when you mentioned about Tenari. Like, when you say that there's a chippy game with lots of fouls and lots of hard tackles, who's the one guy from New Mexico United you expect to be in the thick of that, you know? And so far he's kept out of it.
Well, and to be fair, it's been Guzman that's really stepped up in that role for United so far. And Andrew Tenari, he comes in with 4 assists, which leads the team. That's actually good enough to see him tied for 4th in USL Championship. Here's Velasquez, picked up by Suggs and Yearwood. We'll see him down to the end line, and Suggs does well to keep that one alive. Yearwood playing it long for Illich, and Mishak Jerome does well to dispossess Ilya Illich. And the foul is going to be called against Chelo Martinez as Chapa Herrera goes to ground, winning the free kick. It's another Fiesta Auto Group free kick here for the visitors. Let's have a look. You can see Martinez gets a little bit of the ball, but also does get some of the man. I think that was a good foul call there by Greg Dopka.
It's another dangerous position. New Mexico United defend quite a high line, keeping this lined up on the 18-yard box. Lots of space between them and Alex Tambakis.
Here's Nick Ross. Thought about it, plays it short now. Diego Luna. Going to ground was Rivas. And Rivas will draw the foul. On the road, can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and the brand new USL All Access show featuring Mike Watts and Devin Kerr every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Fans of the USL can now listen to the best matches of the week, along with action from MLS, the Premier League, and the UEFA Champions League. SiriusXM FC, channel 157 on your SiriusXM radio and the SiriusXM app. Heads that one back and finds Zacarias, who plays it back to Mishak Jerome. Cedar Borelli. Going to ground there was Chapa Herrera. And there you can see Rivas just having some words with Tenari, telling him just cool down a little bit. Yuma lets that one roll. Finds Borelli on the far side. Plays that ball up for Solinak, who tried to heel that one up and over to himself.
Well defended by Keelan Ryden there. Strong, didn't bite on the early there, watched the ball, didn't watch his feet, just separated him from the ball, used his experience there.
Keelan Ryden, who is called not one of, but the best center back in the league by head coach Troy Lesane. And Tambakis comes up with the save. A nice curling effort there from Chapa Herrera.
First save he's had to make.
Yep.
So for all the possession El Paso have had, they've had a couple of, like I say, like crosses in the box that haven't really come to much. That's really the only shot, so that will be very pleasing for New Mexico United. Well, things aren't really clicking going forwards. They are really keeping El Paso at arm's length going the other direction.
That was the 37th save of the season for Alex Tambakis. Coming into this one, he was 8th overall in USL Championship with 36 saves. That is on 51 shots faced. His 3 clean sheets so far this season. See him tied for 10th in the league. The Ghanaian, Rashid Tete. That ball gets away from Ilya Ilic. Here comes Solinak. Over to Luna. Here's Diego Luna. And just a miscommunication there.
Ilic really has to do a little bit of a better job for his team right now, where when that ball comes up, the only way New Mexico United can get bodies higher up the field is if he holds the ball, brings other people into the game, and right now the ball's going into his feet, it's just not quite sticking. So he has to keep that ball. That allows Rivas, Cello, plus one of Tenario Guzman to get around Bruce, Suggs, or out wide, get those guys higher up the field.
There's a giveaway there by Sergio Rivas in the midfield, and now going to ground was Luna. Not going to get the foul call. New Mexico United now can counter. Here's Martinez. One-on-one with Zacarias, and no foul from the official. Here comes Locomotive. Already on the far side.
Remember in the first 20 seconds, a very similar tackle, just a straight arm to the chest and kind of just stepped across his line. So, yeah, the referee's not endearing himself to the locals right here.
Long ball played fourth, but the offside flag is up here on the near side, and that is going to be a Fiesta Honor Group free kick here for New Mexico United.
That is the area of the field where New Mexico United can really get at El Paso though. Outside backs for El Paso, bomb on. If you can get the ball in those wide areas, those wide channels, force Jerome to come out and defend in those wide areas and try and get at them quickly, that could be a really positive place of the field for New Mexico United.
It can be, and you know, we typically see a lot of that from New Mexico United. For whatever reason here this evening, Suggs has not had very much success getting forward. Zacarias on the near side has done a tremendous job defending.
Yes, again, considering he's listed as a forward, very, very more than competent at outside back, that's for sure.
Bluebirds raining down every time Yuma gets a touch. Which I think if you're Yuma, Chris, you could probably expect that anytime you visit the lab.
I'm sure he's absolutely devastated.
That's certainly going to keep him up tonight. Bruce plays that one back for Tete. Quick feet from Tete, and now he picked up a knock.
That looked like a sore one. It looked like knee on knee, just as he saw the tackle coming, so he tried to jump out, so hopefully he avoided the worst of it, but it looked like it was maybe knee on knee, and those hurt. As you can see here, just as he tries to skip over it there, yeah, knee on knee there. Solignac just dangled the leg.
And it looks like the trainer for New Mexico United, Tyler Harris, was just about ready to come on, but Ryden Tambakis telling him no need. Tete's back up. We're back underway. Here's Illich. Daniel Bruce now. Turns. Daniel Bruce looking to get inside of Yuma. Yuma goes to ground, and Bruce is going to be called for the foul again.
Yuma needs to be careful. Like, if you watch any El Paso, he does that a lot while he's on the ground, where he lashes out while he's on the ground. It happens a lot. So, and he did it again there. Bruce, it was a little naive, maybe, the tackle. He's grabbing him. He's frustrated that he didn't beat him. But yeah, Yuma does that an awful lot. He really does.
So we have a look here. You can see Bruce does get a little bit of him, but Yuma, as you can see, just swipes back at Daniel Bruce. Not a whole lot doing from the Englishman on that one, as we are now told that there's 1 minute of New Mexico Pinon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee, Chris, is a matter of opinion. 30 seconds gone by of the allotted 1 minute. As Ketterer sends that one long. Kalen Ryden and the Golden Helmet rise up to meet that one. Actually, it'll be a free kick here for New Mexico. This here could be the final kick of the first half, as Ryden looks to play it long and just waited a little too long, does Kalen Ryden. So that is the end of half number one here at the lab. It is New Mexico 0, El Paso 0. Chris, this has been an end-to-end battle so far. No really super threatening chances from either side, maybe a couple of half chances. What have you seen so far?
Two teams that clearly don't like each other. As they walk off the field, Solignac and Ryden having words with each other, the referee having to step between them, so it's going to be a fiery second half.
It's going to be a fiery second half, no doubt. We're going to step aside for just a moment as we have reached halftime. Halftime is presented by Smith's, fresh for everyone. We'll be right back.
What are you doing? Trying to make this thing work. It works! Yeah, let's go!
For over 50 years, BIOS has been proudly serving New Mexico. We love being a part of this community and the New Mexico United family, and helping everyone from homeowners to home builders create a space that's both beautiful and practical. Shopping local is about more than getting a great deal. It's about supporting your community, your neighbors, your friends. Visit Bios in Albuquerque and see how shopping local supports your New Mexico community.
Welcome back to Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It is halftime between New Mexico United and El Paso Locomotive. Tyler Ortega joined by Chris Hurst. And Chris, while we haven't seen any goals, we've seen plenty of fouls and a very, very chippy match so far.
Yeah, it's a different game. It's not a free-flowing game. It's a chess match between two very good coaches who are trying to work out where the chinks in the armor of the other team are. And neither team's really created any clear-cut chances. The battle in the middle of the park is huge, and the tackles, the aggression we talked about that Coach Hussein was asking for after the San Antonio result. He's got that in spades today. It's been maybe need to rein it in a little bit.
Yeah, and looking at the book, there's only been one booking so far. It's Juan Pablo Guzman seen yellow in the 26th minute. We're going to step aside for just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
The 18, the Marcus Sargent goes to his left, hard strike, and it's in the net, 2-1 Oakland.
Split shit, another massive stop. Scoots deflected, and a big save from Rawls. As Asante takes this on. Oh, that's a tremendous goal from Solo.
In the 2019 Reader's Choice Awards from the Albuquerque Journal, Sandia Resort and Casino was voted Albuquerque's favorite casino. Best customer service, best entertainment venue, best slot machines and poker room, best variety of table games, best rewards program, and best golf course. Best buffet, favorite nightclub, favorite casino. Albuquerque, you deserve the best. Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary.
This is where we keep our memories. We've shared so many adventures. Those sounds, shapes, those special places. We've missed them.
We're ready for some new adventures.
And so is New Mexico.
Let's go.
It is halftime at the lab here. New Mexico United 0, El Paso Locomotive 0. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here. And Chris, it is time to go through our halftime rundown here. We'll start off first with some upcoming schedules here around the USL Championship. You see battle slated for Los Dos, Oakland Roots, Lights taking on Orange County, Sporting Kansas City, Louisville doing battle. Then we see on Wednesday, this is going to be a big one in the Mountain Division, Chris, San Antonio taking on El Paso Locomotive.
Yeah, some big games, and it's starting to get where now the conferences are starting to take shape. Who's fighting at the top end? Who's fighting to get into those playoff pictures? So every 3 points right now is really crucial for every team.
And now as we look at the Mountain Division standings, we're seeing 2 of the top 3 teams here in the division tonight. El Paso sitting atop the division with 24 points, level with Rio Grande Valley. However, in first on goal differential there you see +8 our Locomotive. New Mexico United are in third, 14 matches played, level at 20 points there. There you see Austin Bold switchbacks in 4th and 5th, San Antonio in 6th. But you look how jumbled this is, Chris, from 3rd all the way down to 6th. One victory can see you leapfrog everybody there.
Yeah, and Austin Bull currently, they're in the 63rd minute, are currently 1-0 down to Rio Grande Valley as well. So, you know, it changes already at the top and middle of the table already.
And you can see New Mexico United with the most amount of games played here so far. So while they may be there in 3rd, the other teams do have some games in hand. And now we have a look at our halftime stats, brought to you by Duke City Cares, your medical family. The top line, blank on either side, no goals, only 2 shots for either side, Chris. 1 shot on target, not a whole lot doing offensively.
Yeah, it really isn't. It really is like a war of attrition right now. It's a battle. Who's going to win that midfield battle? Once you win that midfield battle, which no one's really taking control in there, then we can move on. Then the teams will create chances going the other way. Well, but that midfield is huge in the second half.
Yeah, it's been rather chaotic as we see the possession 55-45 in favor of El Paso. As we now have a look at the scoreboard around the league, we see Indy 11, Birmingham Legion level at 1 at the break. Hartford Athletic up 2-0 on the Miami FC at halftime. Tampa Bay up 1-0 on Loudoun, and Memphis deadlocked with Tulsa. No goals at the half. The upcoming schedule here for New Mexico United, they'll be making a trip up to the Pacific Northwest, taking on Tacoma Defiance, and then they'll be right back here in just about 3 weeks' time. It's going to be Meow Wolf night as El Paso Locomotive makes their way back up to the 505 to face the black and yellow. Then we're going to see the inaugural meeting between these two clubs. This is going to be a ton of fun. It's Oakland Roots making the trip out to Albuquerque, taking on New Mexico United. Then we'll see United travel back out to Austin, taking on the Bold over at the Circuit of the Americas. And then the big one I think that a lot of United fans have circled, the battle with Phoenix Rising out in the desert. So we have some news and notes from around the league. We see Jack Blake signing a 2-year extension with San Diego Loyal. Haji Berry still leading the Golden Boot race. He is just on fire, Chris. He's got 13 goals so far. And now, if you may be wondering what all this talking is going on the field underneath us here, well, we've got some really, really big news for New Mexico United. Next steps are in order for the black and yellow to secure a home of their own. The bond issue to be presented to the city council on Monday. And from what we understand, if it passes the city council here in Albuquerque, it's going to go to vote in November. So we'll touch on that just a little bit more. We're going to step aside for a few minutes as Sombrero Man giving his greetings to the front row of the curse. Don't go anywhere. Second half coming up next.
B-Dub's new crispy hand-breaded classic chicken sandwich plus fries for $5.99 is made live in a real-life sports bar with live, non-virtual friends. This is real life. So real it's $5.99 for a limited time. Buffalo Wild Wings.
This one's for all the parents whose idea of a big night out is a 15-minute drive to a takeout window. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
The summer of savings is going on now at American Home Furniture and Mattress. Hot buys that won't burn your budget. Shop and save for every room in your home from the largest selection of in-stock furniture in the state. Living room, dining room, bedroom, patio, area rugs, and more. Plus, win your share of a $10,000 shopping spree and get free front door delivery. We guarantee you'll pay less at American Home Furniture and Mattress.
If sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
Get your associate's degree in 17 months with C&M Online. A fast degree, no hidden fees, books included, all at an affordable price. All of your courses can be completed online. take the next step in your career. Get your degree from CNM Online.
Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you here live from the lab in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst on hand here. Whether you're watching on ESPN Plus or locally on Estrella TV, we thank you for hanging out with us here for some Saturday night soccer between these two Mountain Division rivals. We've got New Mexico United taking on El Paso Locomotive. It's 0-0 here at the break as we have a look at some of the first half highlights. And Chris, when I say highlights, not a whole lot doing in that first half. As we saw, there was only one shot on goal between the two sides. As we see Ilya Ilic here with probably the best chance New Mexico United had, skying it over the crossbar.
Yeah, and it wasn't a pretty build-up, and it was just more about desire. Just ran through a tackle there, and the ball, you could see, just wouldn't sit down for him, and he just snatched at the chance a little bit. But yeah, that was as good as it got, really, for New Mexico United.
The fourth start of the season for Ilya Ilic out of Belgrade, Serbia. And now, here on the other side, it was a save up from Alex Tambakis as Chapa Herrera was able to wrap his right foot around one, put the shot on frame. That was the only shot on goal that we saw in the first 45.
Yeah, and you can see, and you know, I mean, it's... Yeah, you've got to test, because that will force New Mexico United's back line to step up a little bit and maybe press a little higher to stop shots like that. But if you're New Mexico United and that's what you're limiting El Paso to, is shots from 30 yards out, you'll be pretty happy with that.
And as we see the black and yellow making their way back out onto the pitch here with just less than 60 seconds remaining in halftime, Chris. And now, so let's put you in the technical boxes, Chris, on each side. If you're Mark Lowry, what are you going to do to walk away with 3 points here this evening?
He's got to find a way to get his outside backs higher up the field. That's what broke the game and broke the game wide open for them against Las Vegas Lights, was getting really higher up the field. And it's happened a couple of times, but New Mexico United, you know, they've managed to deal with it for the most part. They've had to defend a little more. And with a back three, that's where the space is. The back three, that's the space. If you can find those channels out wide. And it's very similar for New Mexico United. Because the outside backs, if they do go, they leave a lot of space behind them. And Chelo Martinez, Sergio Rivas, Daniel Bruce as well has started finding a little bit of space in those channels out wide. But then it's about picking the right ball.
And that on your screen was head coach Troy Lassane, assistant coach Zach Prince, and director of soccer operations Brandon Morris for the Black and Yellows. There you see Juan Pablo Guzman, the only player in the first half to go into the book. That was in the 26th minute where he received a Roadrunner Law yellow card. This is going to be a fun second 45 here, Chris. If it was anything like the first half, we saw plenty of chippiness. Saw Yuma getting some of his usual antics in, firing up the home crowd here. And we are underway, second half. Coming to you here from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on the call.
There it is. 5 seconds into the second half, the first free kick given away.
Bruce looks to switch play over to the far side. It's Josh Suggs. It's a beautiful day here in Albuquerque, Chris. We've been seeing temperatures up around 100 degrees over the past few weeks. Today, temperatures sitting around 85. We're currently at about 75 degrees. There's a slight breeze. Just all around a truly gorgeous evening.
It is. It's absolutely gorgeous. And, you know, glad again, you know, there's been a few flashes of lightning off in the distance up to the north there, but it's managed to stay away from us. So it is. Couldn't ask for a better night for soccer. Now we're just waiting for the game to ignite in a positive way, right?
Just waiting for that one moment of magic as Daniel Bruce draws the foul. Telling him to get up is Jose Anguinaga. He is a substitution that's made his way in there during the half. Looks like he replaced Chapa Herrera. And that substitution is brought to you by REDW CPAs and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity. Zacarias playing that forward, looking for Diego Luna, product of the prestigious Barca Residency Academy out in Arizona, is Diego Luna. Also previously played for the Academy of San Jose Earthquakes, the California native. That on your screen with the ball is Ricardo Zacarias from Las Cruces. Zacarias looking to chip that one into the midfield, and it's turned over. You know, and for New Mexico United, Chris, we saw during the halftime break, we saw Christian Nava warming up, the 17-year-old. We saw Justin Schmidt also warming up. You got to wonder what changes Troy Lesesne may be looking at making as this second half progresses.
Yeah, I mean, and it looks like Mark Lowry has made a little tweak to his formation where they've gone more of a 4-2-3-1 instead of a 4-4-2. So Solniak is up alone, and Luna's just right behind in the 10 position. So yeah, so they've made a slight tweak to their formation.
Here's Solniak, puts the shot, and it's just wide. Kalen Ryden coming in. And they're going to say Ryden didn't even get a touch on that. It was just sent wide from Solniak, and that's very rare to see inside the 6-yard box, Chris.
Solniak was dying to get it on his right foot. You can see he just kind of showed a little bit too much of it to Ryden. Yeah. If Ryden didn't touch the ball, then he got his foot, and maybe that forced him to play there. You can see he's not happy with that decision at all. I mean, you take it if you're Kalen Ryden, but I think that was really good defending.
Well, and that's just a brief showing of what Diego Luna is capable of as a 17-year-old. Brilliant vision. Ketterer sticks a boot through that one. It's a great turn by Andrew Tenari. There's Tenari now. Finds Chelo Martinez, crosses in, and that's straight to Logan Ketterer. Illich appreciates the effort.
It's already a little better, though. The tempo in the final third from both teams in the first half was maybe it's just a little too pedestrian. It was a little too obvious what they were trying to do. Too easy for the other team to maybe break it down. Now, once again at the final third, you can see both teams are trying to up the tempo a little bit.
That ball flicked on by Solniak, and Yearwood will guide it back to Alex Tambakis. Yeah, and I think, Chris, you know, personally for New Mexico United going forward, they have to get Andrew Tenari involved going forward.
You can see already, he's stepping higher than at any point in the first half already. So that's clearly a switch that Coach Lesesne's made at halftime as well. So releasing him a little bit. Guzman is definitely going to be the one who sits in midfield, just getting dispossessed there, maybe getting a little lucky there. He kind of gave the ball away, but foul gets him out of jail. But yeah, you can see Tenari, he's involved in the press, he's trying to win the ball back, and he's making runs, getting at their back four.
Yeah, and we're seeing Sergio Rivas, the leading goal scorer here this season for United. He's dropped back just a little bit. But as we've seen with Rivas and Chelo Martinez, these guys their positioning is very fluid, Chris, throughout the matches. They're switching sides, they're weaving all over the place, really getting a ton of freedom from Troy Lesesne.
That's why this game is definitely not necessarily one for the purists, right, so far, but it is really fun to watch. As a student of the game, where you can see like the interchangeability of the positions and the flow of positions, and it's a chess match, and so they're just kind of prodding and probing, trying to work out where can they win the game, where they're going to. I get the feeling that both coaches maybe think one goal is going to win this game.
And you know, with what we've seen, how the scarcity of the chances so far, I really don't think you can argue with that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely, yeah, it is. It's and you know, that's the base, and I know for New Mexico United standpoint, that's going to be very pleasing for Coach Lesesne, is that you have to have a foundation to build on, and that foundation is, can you keep a clean sheet? Can you limit chances? And to be fair, so far today, they've done that.
You mentioned the chess match between the two managers. It's Mark Lowry going up against Troy Lesesne. Both of these gentlemen in the third seasons with their clubs. It was actually Mark Lowry's men that eliminated the black and yellow in the 2020 playoffs down at Southwest University Park, Chris, where El Paso were able to prevail in penalty kicks.
And you can tell when either of them talk about each other, there's a huge amount of respect between those two guys. Like, they know how well each of them have done in their respective roles. I mean, that's it. Like, both clubs started at the same year, and both have made the playoffs both years. And El Paso, to be fair, have done that a little bit better.
Here's Velasquez. And now the cross goes in, and Tambakis in front of Yearwood scoops that one up. And on the pitch for United is Andrew Tenari. Looks to maybe have just gotten the wind knocked out of him. He's back up and walking is Tenari. You know, an extensive coaching background for Mark Lowry, Chris, obviously coming from Birmingham, England. Moved to El Paso from Jacksonville Armada, the NASL, where he was an assistant coach and then ultimately the head coach. But while in England, he worked for a couple of teams that you may know. We've got Wolverhampton Wanderers and also Birmingham City FC.
Say Birmingham again?
Birmingham City FC. He's a player scout for both of those clubs across the pond. So, you know, Wolves still up in the Premiership. Here's Chelo Martinez. Crosses that one, going back post and skies that one out.
It's interesting, Birmingham City, very big on promoting youth, and you can see probably, it's very, you know, you can see where it comes from, you know, and here's where he's got a 17-year-old, you're in a really, really important position on the field, you know, that's not a position that's easy to play at all, and he's playing it like a seasoned pro.
Wolves, the other team that he's a player scout for, actually the favorite team of one Daniel Bruce. A fun fact. Back for Yearwood. The United Soccer League, all 31 championship clubs and their players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information on the USL's commitment to change through the United Against Racism campaign, visit uslsoccer.com. Here's Ilya Ilic, has a go, and it's parried away by Ketterer. That was the best chance United have had all night.
And it came from really good possession, really patient at the start. Ball pops into Sergio Rivas, he rides a tackle, pops a little entry pass into Ilic. Ilic just sits Yuma down on his backside there. And you can see he just turns them completely inside out. And yeah, good save, decent strike, good save. Things are starting to liven up a little bit.
Had some pace on that ball, did Ilya Ilic. So he's looking to find the back of the net for the second time in black and yellow, having scored here at the Lab just over 2 weeks ago against Switchbacks. That was a bad giveaway from Daniel Bruce. Good interception there from Luna. Velasquez now. It's Borelli. You know, and when it comes to New Mexico United against El Paso Locomotive, Chris, we saw it with the first two matches between these sides this season, with the first one where we saw a 95th minute equalizer by Carijo. That was on May 8th. And then the second time these two sides played, it was a Dylan Mayer's brace within just a couple of minutes that saw the home side take the victory. That cross goes into the box, and that's all Tambakis.
Yeah, that last game, it was a tale of two halves. Couldn't be more different from the game that we're seeing today. New Mexico United completely dominant in the first half. The second half, it was all El Paso Locomotive, like completely the tale of two halves. And yeah, today, again, it's much more methodical, much more a chess match.
As we mentioned, this is the 9th meeting between these two sides. The previous 7 meetings, Chris, all taking place down at Southwest University Park. Of course, last year where New Mexico United played their entire 2020 season on the road. During that time, adopted a few nicknames. They were called the Road Warriors. They were called the Kings of Chaos, a nickname bestowed upon them by our good friend down in El Paso, Duke Keith. And, you know, with these guys, they really gravitated towards those nicknames, Chris. They really embodied that Road Warrior, Kings of Chaos playing style, which saw them ultimately make it to the playoffs, make it to the second round, push El Paso to 120 minutes, push them to PKs. Ultimately, obviously, the Locos were able to prevail in that one. But United just seem to keep pushing and pushing year after year.
It's almost like they used that adversity as something to rally around, you know, kind of like everyone loves an underdog story, right? Like that kind of mentality where they just kind of rallied around. No one should be able to do what we're doing, kind of thing, you know. And yeah, obviously it's great seeing them back at home, in front of the fans, you know, and talking at halftime about the Meow Wolf night. I remember that in 2019. What a night that was, you know. It's gonna be epic when that comes around. So lots of things to look forward to, and again, you know, hopefully some more chances in the second half here.
It's going to be a lot of fun to look forward to. And for the El Paso fans that are watching, if you were on the fence about making the trip up to Albuquerque in just about 3 weeks for that match on August 14th, there's just a little bit more to try to get you up here, experience the incredible atmosphere here. And as we mentioned, it's going to be Meow Wolf night, which is by far one of the biggest nights of this season. And Solinak looks to have some sort of cramp maybe in his calf. United elect to play on, and now turning that one over is Daniel Bruce. And Bruce called for the foul again, Chris. He has to be careful. That's at least the 5th time he's been called for a foul this evening.
Yeah, it's only the first one in the second half, so maybe he gets away with it in that way. Yeah, but I mean, whether that was a foul or not, Mark Larry was right there appealing for it as well, so the referee was always going to give that one. It's interesting where Solniak just went down. There's he's cut up quite a bit of the turf there. So whether he got stuck or something like that, and that's why he's having a little issue with his calf. So yeah, you can just see it's kind of cut up there.
The turf Chris is speaking about is the one that's laid over the diamond, the dirt for the infield. So that is obviously something that El Paso deal with as well, playing down in the home of the Chihuahuas. And a fun fact, Chris, you know, I was talking with New Mexico United owner Peter Trevisani. Typically, New Mexico United get their grass from just on the other side of the Sandia Mountains out in Estancia. However, this year, they've had to start bringing the inlay for the field up from El Paso.
Did he say why, or was that the end of the story?
You know, everybody loves a good cliffhanger. No, and from what I've been told, there was too much rain on the other side of the mountain.
Thank you for clearing that up. I was hanging on the edge of my seat there.
Here's Josh Suggs. Plays that over for Austin Yearwood. Yearwood switches back on his right foot. Back to Chelo Martinez. Suggs just loses possession. Now El Paso looking to break, but the counter thwarted by Kalen Ryden.
I get a sense that while Coach Hussein hasn't made any tweaks to his formation, he's kind of loosened the shackles a little bit. He's kind of, that's the first time Austin Yearwood from left centre-back. He went forward. We've had Tinari already breaking from midfield as well, so he's maybe given his players a little more license, a little more freedom to make decisions when they can go join in the attack.
Here comes Sergio Rivas, plays it forward for Daniel Bruce, cuts inside. Bruce runs into a brick wall there. Daniel Bruce making his 15th appearance. As we said, big shout out to the El Paso traveling contingency that made their way up for this match. Always nice to see some visiting fans here.
When was the last time there was visiting fans?
Wow. Man, if I had to guess, obviously no games played here in 2020, so it had to have been September 28th of 2019 when Phoenix Rising came to town.
I knew you'd know.
The Red Fury, the Banditos, they showed up in numbers. But, you know, ultimately, Chris, it's great to see visiting fans here. We don't typically see it a whole lot, as that ball chipped forward for Luna, one times it, and Yearwood able to deflect, and it's going to be out for a goal kick.
Great defending by Austin Yearwood there. He stuck to his task, didn't get distracted by anything, just kept on tracking his run there. And yeah, you just thought it was just sat up nicely for Luna there. And Austin Yearwood, he just kept his feet moving there. Great block. And to top it all off, bounced back off him to go for a goal kick as well. Excellent defending, Austin Yearwood.
And also kudos to the 17-year-old there for even connecting with that ball.
That was traveling.
Mid-volley, and is really able to stick a foot through it. I mean, if Yearwood isn't there, Tambakis, does he make that save? I don't know.
Yeah, it's trouble. But again, Luna is so hard to pick up because he just drifts into areas. Like, there's no set position, you know. He kind of moves wherever he wants. Like, he's been given free license to just go find the ball because he's that good with it, you know. So he's so hard to pick up because 1 second he's not there, then the next he's there on the ball in a dangerous position.
Now a foul called in the midfield. It's going to be a Fiesta Auto Group free kick coming up here for New Mexico United. So you've got the left-footed Josh Suggs. You've got the right-footed Chelo Martinez standing over this one.
So Daniel Bruce just went over to talk to Troy Lesane. I'm curious. It looks like maybe Bruce is coming to this left side, which Troy Lesane loves to have the right footer on the left side and the left footer on the right side. So see, once this free kick's over, we'll be able to tell.
Guzman plays that one forward for Suggs. Suggs has a go, and it's off the woodwork.
Great save. Pretty sure Ketterer got a big hand to that there to push it onto the post. Great movement, great set piece by New Mexico United.
Another one of those New Mexico United set pieces drawn up by Zach Prince, and now players having a word over at the fourth official.
I think this is all about a throw in. You knew Una would be in the middle of it, though.
So we have another look at this TLC replay. Suggs tried to hit it with the left. As we said, yes, Ketterer just gets enough on that. And Ketterer once again showing his class.
Yeah, it was a great save. I'm interested what this is all about because it looks like it's about to throw in. Clearly something else has happened that we can't see from our vantage point of view because there's no way everyone's this excited about a throw in.
You can see Suggs and Yuma, the two captains, having words, and now Yuma trying to plead his case to our center official, Greg Dopka, and our fourth official, Guatemoc Delgadillo. There is a lot going on right now, Chris. So while we've got a second, we'd like to mention for the W, the USL recently announced the formation of the USL W League, providing increased equity and opportunity for women looking to pursue careers in soccer both on and off the pitch. Comprised of clubs from across the Championship, League One, League Two, and new expansion markets, the W League is set to begin play in 2022 in more than 30 communities across the United States. Head over to uslwleague.com to learn more. So what are you seeing here, Chris?
So Guzman was that, I mean, it hit his hand. He was slide tackling. I don't know what he's supposed to do. Is his arm supposed to become invisible? They're not asking for a yellow card. They are. This is
and Guzman sees yellow, and that is his second yellow of the night. And that means Guzman sees red.
That's a shocker, unfortunately. That's the El Paso players have managed to call and talk the referee into one there because he's on the ground as he's sliding. I don't think it was I couldn't see if it was, maybe it was deliberate, is what they're saying, a deliberate handball, in which case, I mean, yeah, that would be a yellow card. But I didn't see anything that to me looked like it was a deliberate handball.
So New Mexico United are now down to 10 men for the final 25 minutes of this match. And that is the third red card of the season issued to the black and yellow. And now, Chris, if you're Troy Lesane, Guzman is your six that sits on top of your back line. Tenari's been getting forward. Now what challenges does that present to you?
He's going to have to change the system. So it looks like Devin Sandoval is getting stripped, so whether he's going to go up top by himself as a lone forward and then drop Cello and Rivas a little deeper. He's making the signal right now as a 5, so I'm guessing that's what it is. So it's going to be Tenari sitting as the 6 with Cello and Rivas just behind him. So it's basically a 3-5-1, it looks like he's maybe going to go with.
And that red card is brought to you by Roadrunner Law Firm. When you've been fouled in a car crash, call your legal home team, Roadrunner Law Firm. So New Mexico United have their work cut out for them now, Chris. Obviously, they're going to try to go for the 3 points, but at this point, at what point, should I say, do you transition to just trying to rescue a point tonight?
Yeah, I don't think it's that point right now. I mean, but if you could pick any team in this entire league that loves a little bit of adversity, I'd pick New Mexico United, you know. So it's just, yeah, I would love to see that back again because it has to have been deemed as deliberate handball. So maybe he's threw his hand up as he was sliding. I couldn't really tell though on the replay that we saw.
Tension building here in the lab. So again, we are expecting around 10,000 here this evening. We'll have our official attendance number coming up here in about the 75th minute. But from what we can see here so far, it is a very nice crowd on this fine Saturday evening for this rivalry matchup between the two Mountain Division sides. 9th meeting all time. And now Rivas and it looks to be Sebastian Velasquez having some words in the midfield, and it was bad enough, Chris, that the officials stopped play.
And you can see this, though, is what has come from allowing all that to go on unchecked in the first half. It's bubbled over now, and you know New Mexico United feel like they've been hard done by with the decision, rightly or wrongly. We couldn't see from up here, but he has to rein this in right now, or else this game's not finishing 11v10. That's for sure.
So it's going to be a drop ball, it looks like, and Rivas taking exception to that.
I think he's saying he hit me. I'm no lip reader, but I think he said he hit me.
So we do see the change here as Devin Sandoval enters the match for New Mexico United, replacing Ilya Illich, and that substitution is brought to you by REPW CPAs and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity.
So I think this is, really smart by coach to say it's Sandoval, a true target forward. He can take more than one guy out of the game and hold the ball up to allow other people to get higher up the field. So he's managed to make a sub going down to 10 men without having to completely throw out what's going on with the formation.
You can see some extracurriculars still taking place there. Of course, it's Yuma stirring the pot. But again, that's what he loves to do. He is an agitator.
And I mean, it's worked as well.
Yeah. I mean, one of his main goals, obviously, as a defender is to stop the opposite team from scoring. But if you can do that not only physically, but mentally, you play that mental game, you get in their head, and that provides an unmeasurable advantage. Borelli gets it back from Ryan. Turning there was Aguinaga. Finds Luna. Zacarias. Velasquez now jumping around. It was a great ball into the 18, and the shot on target, no issue for Alex Tambakis.
Again, now down to 10 men, that's going to happen. Chances are going to come for El Paso, but that was a pretty low percentage one. He's running away from goal. It was a tough angle. New Mexico United done a good job of funneling it out to the outside. So if they can continue to do that, they've got half a chance.
Richie Ryan plays that back to Yuma. Looks like we're getting ready to see another substitution for New Mexico coming up here in just a moment. Here's Diego Luna, one-on-one with Tete. Tete's able to win that one as the follow-up shot is deflected, and Tambakis scoops that up. Suggs with a great touch. Lays it off for Rivas now. Daniel Bruce. He's trying to cut it back. Almost lost his footing and crosses to the back post, but nobody's home.
That was a mistake. I think they went out for a corner. Wow.
And a rare mistake there from Logan Ketterer. That sees a Bank of America corner kick coming up here for New Mexico United.
See, he just tried to take a touch with his weak foot there, with his left foot there. And Hull just, I think it just went under it. It's at the other end of the field from where we are, but it looked like it just went either under his foot or bobbled over his foot. But you can see there, Devon Sandoval, he pulls onto either outside back. He doesn't want anything to do with trying to win headers against Yuma or Jerome. He's pulling onto the outside backs, and even if he doesn't win it, it's a contested header, so it's dropping to New Mexico United players. So that's the plan moving forward here, it looks like.
Here's Chelo Martinez to send the outswinger into the box. Back post. Skying that one over. It looked to be Kalen Ryden.
Set piece is going to be huge in the last 20 minutes or so here for New Mexico United. That you know, it's not that they're not getting any chances. They will get chances, but you know, set pieces, they've been so good at them so far this season.
Here's Borelli. Header from Luna, now picked up by New Mexico United. Here's Kalen Ryden. He's played every minute of the 2021 season so far for New Mexico. He's the only player to have done so thus far. And Rivas, we see sinking deeper as New Mexico are playing with 10 men following the red card in the 64th minute issued to midfielder Juan Pablo Guzman. Long ball played over the top. Daniel Bruce goes to ground. We're going to see a yellow card coming out here for Ricardo Zacarias.
It was a great run there by Daniel Bruce. Just got on the blind side of Zacarias, and he had to bring him down, or he felt like he had to bring him down because he was away. He was away and he was at the centre backs.
75th minute yellow card brought to you by Roadrunner Law Firm. When you've been fouled in a car crash, call your legal home team, Roadrunner Law Firm. So let's have a look here at this TLC replay, and you can see just the feet getting caught up. And the fans, it looked like everybody in unison behind there just rose to their feet at once.
That was a little nastier than it looked at first. Like, he ran his cleats right down the back of his calf there. And the interesting thing is, I don't think he needed to do it. Jerome was right there about to win the volley anyway. He was about to clear the danger anyway. So I'm not sure why he thought he had to do that.
So it's a Fiesta Auto Group free kick here. Curled in back post. Sandoval was there. And Sandoval is called for the foul. United tonight in their New Mexico True kits. As I understand, Chris, you've got a little bit of a New Mexico True story for the past couple of days.
I've had a proper New Mexico True experience. Yeah, up in the mountains, got absolutely dumped on with rain. But it was fun, found a beautiful part of the world. Like, our state is absolutely beautiful. And yeah, it was a great couple of days. So yeah, New Mexico True.
Put the hashtag on it as we see another substitution here for New Mexico United. It's going to be a double change as we see number 23, Michael Azira, entering the match, as well as number 99, Brian Brown. Heading out for the black and yellow is number 20, Andrew Tenari. And also, looks like Chelo Martinez.
Daniel Bruce.
Or actually, no, it's Daniel Bruce, excuse me. Good eyes there, Chris.
No, I just ran out of fingers for a second. I was trying to work out how many players were on the field. So it looks like Chelo's moved out to the left here. Brian Brownson's gone 2 up top. Guess that answers the question about maybe going for the tie.
Yeah. Well, in New Mexico, they still have one more opportunity for a substitution here, Chris. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point here in about the next 10, maybe 15 minutes, maybe we get to see Christian Nava. Here come Locomotive. Looking to steal 3 points of their own. Suggs does well to deflect the cross, and it's out for a corner kick. And Suggs immediately runs up to our official Greg Dopka, having some words. You can see the hard hats being worn in the stadium today. As our attendance tonight, as this cross is played into the box over the head of Diego Luna. He's going to chase it but can't catch up to it. As I said, our attendance tonight, 10,303 on hand at the Lab to witness this rivalry match between Locomotive and United.
At one point in the first half, I looked down at the fans below us and it looked a little sparse. You know, and you'd said before the game we're expecting about 10,000. I was like, there's no way. Just as you said that, I looked out the window. It's packed in here now.
And as I was mentioning just prior to that, the hard hats were a giveaway item tonight by our match sponsor, NM811. Just happened to coincide with the good stadium news. As we mentioned during the halftime break, the city of Albuquerque conducted a feasibility study for a New Mexico United soccer-specific stadium. And the foul is going to be called against Devin Sandoval. It is a Fiesta Auto Group free kick for Locomotive here coming up in the center circle. As we said, the feasibility study was conducted, Chris, and it's going to be put forth to the city council on Monday. And if it passes the city council, then it's going to go to vote in November. And who knows, Chris, maybe in 2 to 3 years, you and I are sitting in a brand new soccer-specific stadium.
Maybe, but I tell you what, this is getting out of hand now. That foul that was called on Devin Sandoval, nothing wrong with that tackle whatsoever. That was just a committed player being stronger to the ball than Ryan, and I think Ryan would admit that as well. And now, again, because of how this has been allowed to go on, all the talking after every decision, the referees allowed players to crowd around him, and it's been seen to be able to influence him, whether it's rightly or wrong. He's allowed that illusion where he's allowing players to talk. So now they're going to do it every single time. The New Mexico players are doing it. The El Paso players are doing it. Everyone's doing it around. The coaches are doing it, right? And it's just getting out of hand. It's absolutely getting out of hand.
And it's Yuma that's down on the ground, as you can see. Dopka having words with Troy Lesane, just telling him to calm down, back up a little bit. Chance of Pobrecito ringing out.
And Yuma did get caught there. But the problem is he took 10 steps, then fell down. So that's why he's getting the treatment from the New Mexico United fans right now. I think Sergio Rivas just ran through a tackle and just clipped him as he played it. But again, that tackle by Devin Sandoval, that's the spark that New Mexico United needed. He was just committed. He's like, I am not backing out of this challenge. And Richie Ryan almost saw him coming, and you could see he had that kind of moment and almost tried to get out the way. And Devin Sandoval was penalised for it, and there was absolutely no need.
Sandoval essentially being penalized for being of a larger stature.
And to be fair, that's why he's been thrown on, right? He can take guys out of the game because he is so physical, and he's had a really positive impact on the game. Just holding the ball up, bringing other guys in there, being busy in the press as well. He's had a really positive impact on the game since coming on.
Yuma into Ross. There's Luna, 17-year-old. Be turning 18 in September. Sandoval deflects that one. Not before Nick Ross could get to it. You can tell every time Yuma touches the ball.
You don't need to say it anymore anyway. That's one less person you need to announce on, that's for sure.
So there's less than 10 minutes plus stoppage time remaining here tonight. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on the call. Again, thanks for tuning in, whether you're a New Mexico United fan that couldn't be at the Lab, whether you're a Locomotive fan watching on ESPN Plus or locally on Estrella. Thanks for hanging out with us here for some Saturday night soccer. Here's Sebastian Velasquez. Richie Ryan will spread that one over to Peter Borelli. Still waiting for that one moment of magic here this evening, Chris. These two sides deadlocked. No goals on either side. He's getting physical there with Sandoval and Yuma. And Yuma goes in for the challenge. And Yuma looked to have picked up a cramp.
The New Mexico United bench is going absolutely berserk right now.
A yellow card is shown to somebody on the bench.
I think it was Daniel Bruce.
Either Daniel Bruce, maybe even Phil Beigel. Both of them were up at the touchline.
I think Yuma's due a card when he gets up here as well. Because that was, it was a committed tackle by Devin Sandoval. Probably a foul, actually. That annoyed her, and that was a yellow card right there.
And Yuma's still down on the ground. And fans, if you're thinking about making the trip up to Albuquerque, whether you're a United supporter, visiting supporter, just know that the Residence Inn Albuquerque Airport is offering a 15% discount for New Mexico United fans. They have spacious suites with fully equipped kitchens, free Wi-Fi, a fitness center, and a barbecue patio. They'll even offer free shuttle services to the lab upon availability. The hotel is also New Mexico Safe certified. Give them a call to book your room today, 505-242-2844. So Yuma taking his time. I imagine we'll have quite a bit of stoppage time here in this second half, Chris.
I've still got my sleeping bag in the car from camping, so we should be set based on how many added minutes there's going to be here.
So it looks like we're going to see these. So we're seeing two subs coming in here for El Paso. So we're going to see Josue Aron Gomez entering the match for Locomotive alongside Leandro Carrijo, as they will replace Sebastian Velasquez and Luis Solinac. Another substitution here for New Mexico United as well. And here we see Justin Schmidt, the defender, entering the match. He replaces number 7, Chelo Martinez. So that is all 5 substitutions there for New Mexico. We've seen 3 for Locomotive.
So it'll be interesting whether this goes to a back 4 with Tete at right back, Yearwood at left back. It kind of looks like that right now, or whether it's a 3 at the back with Yearwood being the left wing back. That's the question right now. It's all kind of a bit of a mess.
Tete plays that one forward. Rising up to meet that is Richie Ryan. Falls in between 2 Locomotive players, and foul is called on Michael Azira. Here's Zacarias. It's up for Gomez. Shaq Jerome. Zacarias again.
What a sub to be able to bring off the bench. Gomez, though, where he's fresh off his game-winning goal last week against Las Vegas Lights.
And not to mention Leandro Carrijo, who's no stranger to scoring late against New Mexico United. Here's Gomez. Double teamed, poked away by Michael Azira. As I was mentioning, Carrijo, back on May 8th, it was the first meeting of the season between these two sides. He scored an equalizer in the 95th minute to save a point for Locomotive down at Southwest University Park. He's going to be looking to replicate that, at least in terms of a goal, perhaps maybe even stealing 3 points on the road. As Suggs comes in for that one, Yuma able to deflect that one out of bounds. It's a throw in here on the near side for New Mexico United. Lassane looks just exasperated on the sideline. His side are battling here, down a man. Red card issued in the 65th minute to Juan Pablo Guzman. So New Mexico United have played the last 20 minutes and change shorthanded. They'll see the rest of the game out that way as well. Here's Schmidt, making his 12th appearance on the season. Making the charge. Here comes El Paso. Shot is blocked by Kalen Ryden. That was Aguinaga. Able to turn that away is Nick Ross now. Plays it up top, Borelli. Looking for the through ball to find Aguinaga. Tete almost gives that away, and Tete does well to win, or to play that ball out at least. There's Borelli. Carrijo heads it on. It's sent away by Devin Sandoval. Sandoval comes in with a sliding challenge, but Yuma gets to it first. Luna spreads that one. Borelli now. He's got plenty of options inside the box. Cross goes in. And the header is off target. And it's going to be a corner kick coming up here for Locomotive. That cross is deflected by Michael Azira.
Mexico United got a little lucky there. They just switched off. El Paso recognized it, played a quick short free corner there, sorry. And yeah, like I say, New Mexico United got a little lucky there.
Corner played short, now crossed in. Tete heads it back. Turns, here's Gomez! And just drags it wide.
Azira still trying to get up to the speed of the game. He's been caught in possession a couple of times already since coming on here. And yeah, there was a little sight of goal there, but again, it's a low percentage shot. Good recovery by Azira to put him under pressure. But I tell you what, 0-0, 90th minute, and the 90 minutes has flown by. Normally a 0-0 game, there's not much to talk about. There's been so many incidents and flashpoints in the game. It's actually been a really interesting game. I'm not saying it's been the best game, but it's been interesting.
Here's Brian Brown, plays it up top to Sandoval. Sandoval known for his hold-up play and the occasional bicycle kick. Sandoval wins the throw-in here. As we've now been informed, there's 4 minutes of New Mexico Piñon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee is a matter of opinion. So it's going to be Justin Schmidt with the long throw-in. Can New Mexico United find the go-ahead goal here in stoppage time? Schmidt throws that in near post, bounces around, and ultimately just dealt with. It looked to be Richie Ryan, and now Schmidt will tee this one up once again. Goes in looking for Sandoval, falls back to Yearwood, blasts one! And that is up into the picnic pavilion behind the goal. An ambitious attempt from Austin Yearwood.
But last time I sat next to you, it was an Austin Yearwood right foot absolute screamer. So when that popped out to him, I was like, no, lightning couldn't strike twice, could it? And you could see it came out of him very fast, and he had to take it early as well because of the pressure from El Paso there. So, but yeah, not a bad little effort. Couple long throw-ins. It was uncomfortable for El Paso there.
1 minute out of the allotted 4 stoppage time minutes elapsed. About 2.5 minutes here remaining. Either side looking to score a goal and walk away with 3 points here this evening. And just given how big of a rivals these two clubs are, how sweet that victory would taste.
So you said it's 3 weeks until these guys play against each other again?
3 weeks, yeah. 3 weeks to the date, actually. Gomez, he's got Carrijo. Gomez now double team, plays it back, Zacarias. Crosses it in. Luna. Luna's header is out, and that's going to be a goal kick. As Luna looks to be shaken up. The teenager, 17 years old, Diego Luna. As the trainer will come on to the pitch.
He just got up really well. He jumped early at the back post, and just as he lands awkwardly, and then Tete just catches him on the head as well as he's falling over. Completely unintentional, but just catches him a little bit.
Nothing malicious. Tete's just trying to find his footing. But of course, our official doing the right thing. It is a head injury, so we'll bring the trainer out to check on Diego Luna. Don't let a workplace injury keep you on the sidelines. Ben Sherman Law will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. For a free case evaluation, call Ben Sherman Law today. So there's Alex Tambakis, 6'3" out of Athens, Greece. Looking to notch his 4th clean sheet of the season here so far, Hursty. As we are now into the final of the allotted 4 stoppage time minutes. May see a little bit additional.
Yeah, but you got to say for Tambakis, he's had to pull off 2 saves I can think of, so it's been relatively comfortable for him. And obviously, there's a few more chances happening now for El Paso as the game gets a little stretched, everyone gets a little tired, and they've obviously got the extra man. So, yeah, but other than that, it's been a relatively comfortable night. I think Coach Hussein will be really happy with how the team has defended tonight.
So this may be the final opportunity for New Mexico. So we see a yellow card being issued there. That is a Roadrunner Law Firm yellow card. So what is probably the final attempt here for New Mexico United tonight, Chris? It's going to be Michael Azira to deliver. We see Kalen Ryden making his way up to the front. Azira scoops that forward for Brian Brown. Brown holding it up. Back for Yearwood now. Back for Azira. Azira's got to put a cross in. He does. Deflected. And Brown is going to be fouled. And this is a dangerous spot for a free kick late in stoppage time, Chris.
Brown had to do that there. He knew he was going to get hit as well. He put his body in a dangerous position there. Took the foul, knew it was coming. Probably got a nice knee on his backside there. Maybe a bit of a Charlie horse. You see, he knew he was going to get hit. Oh, it was his cleats. I thought it was his knee. A high boot there. But very dangerous position. And do you remember the goal down in El Paso was not a completely dissimilar position to this?
It was a little bit closer. You're talking about Brian Brown scoring the free kick goal that went under the wall. He and Sergio Rivas both standing on top of this. You can see Rivas tap his chest and say, "That's mine." But it's going to be Brian Brown going for goal. And he sends it over the crossbar. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the full-time whistle from the lab. A chippy affair here between El Paso Locomotive and New Mexico United ends 0-0 here tonight. Chris, what are some of your takeaways?
I mean, let's say for a 0-0 game, full of incident, full of flashpoints, a pretty exciting game, and can't wait for the rematch in 3 weeks.
3 weeks' time. They're going to be right back here. It's August 14th. As we said, for you visiting fans thinking of making the trip up to Albuquerque, it's going to be Meow Wolf Night. Tons of fun. We definitely implore you to come and check this out as we see Austin Yearwood making his way off the pitch. Head coach Troy Lassane just kind of saying, what else can we do, man? If you look at this all-time series, Chris, 9 games played between these two sides. Each team has 2 wins, 2 losses, and 5 draws. Something about these two sides, neither can just seem to pull ahead of the other.
Yeah, and you could see it was a little bit of a wry smile as well from Coach Troy, right, where he was kind of like, what? It was just a very odd game, just a really odd game in terms of how it went about. You can see he's kind of looking at the referee, he's giving him the eye right now, and there's going to be some discussions after this game about how it all went down from various angles, from New Mexico, from El Paso, and from the officiating, unfortunately, as well.
We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be back momentarily to wrap things up. Don't go anywhere.
B-Dub's new crispy hand-breaded classic chicken sandwich plus fries for $5.99 is made live in a real-life sports bar with live non-virtual friends. This is real life. So real it's $5.99 for a limited time. Buffalo Wild Wings.
This one's for every sports fan who just spent the entire game explaining to someone the entire game. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
If sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
In New Mexico, we know true. True beauty, true adventure, true color, and true culture. Home to the artists, the warriors, and the multi-generational, multiracial, all-inclusive family that we call the United. This is New Mexico United, and New Mexico United is New Mexico True.
Welcome back to the lab here, ladies and gentlemen. It is a 0-0 deadlock at full-time. New Mexico United, El Paso Locomotive, as tonight's Duke City Final Care score 0-0 here tonight as we have a look at the save of the match presented by Positive Energy Solar. Generate positive energy. It was Alex Tambakis in the 41st minute coming away with that one. It was one of two saves that he had to make on the night, Chris, which I'm sure as a keeper you're not too, not too bothered about, I guess.
No, and it's a testament to the not just the defenders in front, but how the team defended today. It really was from, 1 through 11, they all defended, because defense, it starts from the front, so the attackers did their job pressing, and yeah, really limited them to not too many chances.
And tonight's Pepsi Man of the Match is Austin Yearwood. He won 6 duels tonight, Chris. He seemed to be all over the place with those white boots, just flying up and down, delivering crosses, making stops. And our play of the match, Austin Yearwood in the 63rd minute, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. So, Chris, let's have a look at the full-time highlights here. Although no goals, you said it, there was plenty of action going on here tonight, and we'll start things off early as Yuma just kind of whiffed on that one. It just didn't sit down for the Serbian Ilija Ilic, who was looking to score his second goal for New Mexico United.
Yeah, and in a game where there were very few chances, that it turned out that was a really good chance. But like you say, it just bobbled up, just wouldn't settle for him, so he just couldn't quite get the chance on target.
You can see visibly upset there was Ilija Ilic, and we look back on the other side now. This was Chapa Herrera putting the shot on frame there for Alex Tambakis. That right there was your save of the match, actually. As we said, there wasn't very many threatening, very good looks, I should say.
Yeah, and like you say, that was from 25, 30 yards out, and that was one of the better looks. There was the block, which we're just looking at now. That was a great opportunity, but great defending by Austin Yearwood, the play of the match. It's not often that defensive moments get play of the match, but that was such a good block because that shot was flying.
Well, and as you said, not only the block, but the ball actually ricochets back off of Luna, and United are able to win the goal kick. As we have a look here now at the full-time stats, brought to you by Duke City Cares, your medical family. No goals, but the shots did pick up in the second half, Chris, finishing at 7 and 8 respectively for United and Locomotive. 2 shots on target for either side. Possession stayed relatively the same through the first half and second half. 3 offside called against Locomotive, and of course the 2 yellow cards for either side. But the red card that was called on Juan Pablo Guzman there in the 65th minute. And if you're Troy Lesane, all things considered, you might even be happy with a point here tonight.
If I'm Troy Lesane, I'm delighted because the 0. Keeping it a clean sheet after a 3-0 defeat during midweek, that is a huge statement from that defensive group, especially against a team with the attacking prowess of El Paso.
And this was definitely one for the books here, Chris. The 9th meeting all time. These two teams are going to be back here in just 3 weeks' time, August 14th. It's going to be Meow Wolf Night as you see some of the post-game scenes taking place on the pitch, some autographs. We see some photos being taken there. Tambakis sharing some love. And that's going to do it for all of us here tonight For everybody behind the scenes, Windfire Productions, for my color commentator, Chris Hurst, my name is Tyler Ortega. Thank you for watching.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.